Hello again. It's me, Garrett, here with Thinkering Voices. And oh my goodness, we have an old friend here. It's like we're at NiceGate all over again. My friends, this is Dan Thomas. Dan Thomas, tell the viewers and listeners what you're all about, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me, Garrett. I'm
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here. As I phrase it, I'm a recovering middle school teacher.
I'm sorry. We all pray for him.
I taught seventh grade for 32 years and,
Absolute saint here, guys.
and did a little bit of everything. And now I'm about just trying to take what I did and took for granted and get it out to other classrooms and other teachers.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Dan focuses on, I've seen some, at NiceGate, we went and checked out his booth, and he's showing, some amazing builds when it comes to Lego. But let me ask you this. You work a lot in Lego. Talk to us a little bit about what the purpose is of what you do when you're crafting experiences through Lego for learners.
Okay, so before I go any further,
Yeah.
it's not an official like Lego group, Lego education thing. So I mean, I that is some things that I do with Lego education, but what I do is my medium of choice is Lego bricks.
I love it.
And yours could be, my whole concept could strand towards sketching on a whiteboard. It could be building with office supplies that you have. It could be, whatever you got readily available. My medium is Lego bricks. So what I'm trying to do with it is the first thing I'm trying to do with it is to build some creativity, right? To get some anxiety, reduce some anxiety and get some hands-on stuff going. So it kind of activates the learning, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean? So it's that type of thing.
Yeah, it's almost like the barrier collapsed. It's like what's the word that when you go to an event and my goodness, it's like a meetup event, and then you have
Yeah.
something warmer,
Icebreaker.
icebreaker. There,
Yeah.
something warmer,
It's a warm-up activity.
like an icebreaker. It's like
Everybody hates those.
yeah,
Everybody hates those stand up and give your, truths and a lie or some fact that nobody knows about you. I always hated that. It's
yeah.
uncomfortable. But you throw in something like a Lego build to start that. Like, and I was just, here's an idea. Like, you want to do a group conversation in your classroom. You want to just get some dialogue going,
Mm.
right? And you always get that one extroverted kid that wants to talk, that always has the answer, right? And that's great. I label myself as an extrovert.
Introvert, extrovert.
Yes, I'm more introverted, but I like to talk to people. But I'm not going to come up and talk to you. And so using the Lego bricks, that now that kid that might be hesitant to talk has something that initiates a conversation. So if you're doing, let's say, a Socratic circle, a classic classroom exercise, or even a table, around a table of 4 or 5, you have something to initiate the conversation with. That's not something that you got to pull out of your head. And it's something, and when I'm talking these builds too, Garrett, it's not a 20-minute build. It's 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, depending upon, and it's a simple prompt, like build a chicken, build something that symbolizes your learning today, stuff like that. And we're not talking like, hey, we're going to throw out all this stuff. This is a quick warm up to set this tone for the class, or an exit ticket, or just a conversation starter.
I think it's interesting looking at Lego as a tool, in a large tool belt, of course, but Lego as a tool to fuel engagement. And I think what we know about engagement is that an engaged learner will learn really anything. So I love the idea of like, instead of doing these ridiculous like name games and stuff like that in
Yeah.
the classroom that kids kind of see right through because teachers walk in and they've done it 500,000 times. There's no energy in it. I think one of the things that I love about the work that you're doing is like Lego's very relevant. It's kind of always been relevant, but
Yeah.
seeing its real heyday right now, which I think is amazing. So it gives you the opportunity to kind of jump into engagement. So that being said, we talk about Lego as a tool. What is your ultimate goal for, learners as we move forward? You worked in some would consider one of the hardest age groups ever
Yeah.
because they're just going through this kind of stage of development of like, who am I? What do I
Yeah.
like? What's my point of view? All of that. Talk to us a little bit about what your personal vision is for a learner in the future.
Well, Kind
Big
of,
question.
no, it's a great question. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and again, going back to what I said earlier, where I took some things for granted. I did these things for 30 years in my classroom, as a STEM classroom. So I took these things for granted that I did every day. Conversations with the kids, right? Talking to them like people, like we're talking here.
Yeah.
You can have those conversations with your students. And by doing that, you can see how they're thinking, right? And I think that's kind of, we're so product focused on in education right now. Like, what's this essay going to be? What's this test that we're doing? What's the state test? We're so product focused. And you hear all this stuff that says process over product. But how do we see how they're thinking? Because information's right here, right now. Talk about devices, we talk about AI. The kid's going to get that. How are they going to apply it? And I want to see how they use what they're knowing and how I can surface up that learning. And I don't want to use edubabble because I'm not an edubabble kind of guy.
You don't
Right.
seem like an edubabble.
Right.
kind of
It's
guy.
like, and all of this stuff is common sense to me. So it's hard to, sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to formulate a response, if that makes sense, which is why I use the hands-on. Because, if you're doing these builds like we talk about, you're using 24 different cognitive skills, which is huge. Like in 60 seconds, like tell me another exercise you can do that you're going to hit 24 different cognitive skills.
I can't even find a single one. I think, you call out so many really important things because I think overall what you're saying is, at least the way I process it is, we're focused so much on this kind of, box checking in education
Yeah.
from the top down instead of actually really working towards meaningful learning moments in the classroom that are collaborative, that speak to the areas in which will prepare kids for the actual future. Talk to us a little bit about your current, how many schools you're working with, all of that, and what's your kind of big goals for business in 2026, 27.
Oh, wow.
That's these conferences.
I am
trying to grow.
I'm trying to grow. I just retired, as we mentioned earlier. I retired in June, so I'm just starting on this journey.
Yep.
Coming to conferences, you mentioned NiceGate, and I met you guys over there. Kind of like finding all of these people that have this same philosophy, and this is what I've kind of come to the realization over the past couple of days is. And I was talking to somebody about that this morning. I think the teachers at this conference and the teachers at a NiceGate conference, those are the teachers that want to make change. They're looking for something. They don't know what they're looking for, but they know what they're not looking for, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, but they'll know what they want when they see it. And I want them to experience it. So like I said, I did a workshop yesterday morning, Sunday morning here, and it was hands-on. There was no devices involved.
Love it.
Right. And they're taking pictures and stuff, but there was no, we were building with Lego. And again, your medium could be cardboard, could be drawn, and it could be, a virtual thing too, right? You could be doing, but it's replacing some of those interactive ed tech tools that are just toys, and Lego gets the rap. Speaking of which, Lego gets the rap of a toy and it's play. Yeah. But you know what? We all learn from play. We learn in your engagement. We talked about engagement, and engagement goes up. So I guess what I'm trying to do is get this message out to teachers that want to make that change, but are a little hesitant because we've had so many initiatives that come out, and it's like, here's a new thing. Throw away what you're doing. Now we got Portrait of a Graduate coming out, and this thing fits so perfectly with what my philosophy and what I want to do and what I want to get this message out and what I want to work with teachers and schools about. Fits perfectly with that Portrait of a Graduate, because it adds the relevance piece, and it adds the piece that the kid can see down the road. Where's this going to work, right? We all get the when am I going to use it a question, right?
That's exactly
all
right.
the time. And I think this does that. It shows the kids, a project and the thinking process that gets there, because they may never do a Lego build ever again. They might not ever put something together, but you know what? They're going to get a job, and they're going to have to problem solve at their job. The information's going to be there. The information they'll own when they use the information on a repeated basis, right? If I asked you to tie your shoes, you're going to be able to tie your shoes while talking to your buddy over here. You not have to sit there and think about it. Well, the 5-year-old might have to sit there and think about their bunny ears and Lupin and whatever it is. We don't, because we've owned it, because we've done it. We know how to walk. We know how to feed ourselves. We know, I mean, just simple things like that. We kind of, as educators, and I was guilty of this as the next guy, we kind of, as educators, overlook that piece because we do it every day for 30 years, right? You take the guy that sands drywall, right?
Yep.
That hangs drywall. He makes it look easy because he's done it for, or she, because
Yeah.
there's some great females that do that too, right? They've done it for 20 or 30 or 40 years and they're good at it because they've done it. Now, they also don't see the 700 times they screwed up
That's
and
exactly.
the 700 times that drywall looked terrible and they had to redo it and it cost them money.
Mm-hmm.
We don't let our kids do that in class. We don't let our kids fail. We don't let our kids make mistakes and iterate because because we got to cover material for the test. I mean, you look at the animal kingdom. I have two beagles at home. When they were puppies, they would wrestle and fight and growl, and when they went too far, and they learned when you went too far. I have older brothers. I learned really quickly how I went too far.
Yep.
Being the youngest of four.
Yeah, and
And
even more so, like the justice of. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, we've made a lot of progress when it comes to social understanding in society and things. But yeah, like when I was growing up, if you called someone a slur or if you like,
yeah,
it got addressed and it was immediate, and you probably never did it again, right? So you're right. Like kids are not learning these non-academic lessons
yes,
that are, ironically, the most important things that they'll need for the future. Dan, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
absolutely.
If the community out there that watches us, the FETC community, where can they find you in the work that you're doing?
I'm on
Interwebs.
on the worldwide interwebs.
Yeah.
Yes, we're old.
Yes. When you get on America Online.
Yes, yes, and your dial-up modem. That sound still triggers me a little bit.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
Yep. I'm on LinkedIn is a great place to find me. I think LinkedIn right now, and it's Dan Thomas. Just look for me on LinkedIn. My website, coachthomas.tech.com. It's going under a rebuild right now. But there's some quality stuff you can reach out there. I'm on it's still going to be Twitter to me.
Yeah. We were just having that conversation yesterday.
Twix, if I quote Carl Hooker, it's Twix, the Twitter X thing. I still find that to be a relevant place. But LinkedIn right now is, for educators, I think is a booming place for some quality shares. Reach out to me, find me on there. I'd love to chat with anybody. Hop on my show. I got a podcast that I'll get you guys on. Tech Ed Clubhouse podcast. It's on Spotify. You can, anywhere you pick up your podcast, you can hit me up there. Got some great conversations I have, and I'm looking forward to building some cool things and seeing what's what out there.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We'll see you around at the conference. This is the man right here. We will see y'all very soon from Think Green Voices and FETC 2026. We'll see you soon.
Outstanding. Thank you, Garrett. That was